Developing right now, a teacher was hired and then fired from a local Catholic school because they support the LGBTQ community.
And as students across the area prepare to head back to school, one local school has a new relaxing way to help ease students' anxiety and stress. What's behind this new mindfulness room?
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Thursday, August 22nd. Some of you may be walking outside and feeling a little chilly out there. Like there's like 40s in some parts of the viewing area this morning.
Just north of Madison.
40s, that's a little chilly this time of the year.
Fine. If we weren't from the Midwest, I would call that
I know.
chilly. Still shorts weather.
I've got a friend coming up from Dallas this weekend as I go up from Minnesota, and he's already packing his
parka.
Yeah, like seriously. And I'm going to be in like shorts, flip-flops, you know it, but it's just different how we all kind of, you know, generalize things.
Yeah,
but.
I mean, I think it feels great outside. It feels pretty refreshing, especially compared to where we started off yesterday. And this pleasant weather is just going to keep marching on, like Ants Marching, Dave Matthews Band. This morning, we are looking at a great sunrise on the Edgewater Skycam in Madison as we wake up in the morning. Temperatures are in the upper 40s and lower to middle 50s across the area. Got to have some fun with the forecast as nice as this. So that's about 10 to 15 degrees cooler compared to the 6 o'clock hour on Wednesday when we were still starting off a little bit on the humid side in Madison. Nothing like that this morning. So temperatures will be in the lower to middle 70s for much of the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine on the way today. Hard to get much better of a forecast compared to this. Our traffic camera looking a little dark this morning. Maybe
turn the headlights on.
Yeah, exactly. Got to get the defogger there. But we are looking at no major accidents or incidents to report across Dane County, which is good news. Starting to see maybe a few brake lights closer to Stoughton Road and the Beltline interchange. Here are your drive times. Oregon to the Beltline westbound on Highway 14. That is 7 minutes with an average speed of around 70 miles per hour. And that's your first alert traffic update.
So the real question, Dave, have you ever done a weather forecast in like all lyrics before?
Yeah.
Well,
that's how
ideas.
I live my life, I think. Never in Dave Matthews' voice, and I don't think with my voice as it is right now, I could do him justice. But
maybe when you're feeling better, it's a challenge.
Exactly.
Here we go, folks.
Thanks, Dave.
We are following breaking news into the Channel 3000 Alert Center overnight. Authorities in Beaver Dam are investigating a car crash into the Beaver Dam Middle School. Dodge County officials say it happened just before midnight. We are waiting to hear more information from police there on what led to this crash. Alliant Energy did turn off power at the middle school overnight as authorities investigated, but it has been restored since about 5 this morning. Now, the crash comes a little less than 2 weeks from the first day of school there. We'll, of course, bring you the latest information as it becomes available.
Just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning, former presidential candidate John Hickenlooper says he'll be running for Senate instead. Hickenlooper dropped out of the presidential race last week. He'll challenge Republican Senator Cory Gardner for his seat. Gardner is considered one of the most vulnerable Republican senators in the 2020 election as Democrats try to take control of the Senate.
All right, summer is coming to an end for at least one local school this week as Verona students head back to class tomorrow. So when those kids show up, there will be a new resource available to them.
Christina Laurie joins us live from Stoner Prairie Elementary School to explain. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. We are live from Stoner Prairie Elementary School this morning with the school's principal, Tammy Thompson-Cap. We're actually in this new mindfulness room. So can we explain to people what they're seeing behind us?
Sure. So we created a space here at school to really help focus on managing our emotions and kind of diffusing stress and anxiety, really designed for teachers first so that they're in their best place to take care of themselves, and then ultimately to teach students the same skills and strategies to help them remain calm and manage their emotions.
So a lot of the summer was spent not only setting this room up, but undergoing training. What kind of training was done?
Sure. So we have 11 of our staff members who've gone through Breathe for Change, which is a self-care, teacher self-care program that when you finish the program, you are a wellness champion and a certified yoga teacher. So we have 11 staff who've gone through that 200-hour training.
And how will this work? Is this kind of like gym class where classes will cycle through and participate in activities in the mindfulness room?
So similar to gym class, but in a much calmer and controlled way. We are planning to first roll out the mindfulness room and help build the capacity of our teachers to know how to use the space. And then we do plan to have students come into the space, every student 30 minutes a week with their classroom teacher, and then doing some small groups and individuals as well.
I really like that the emphasis is on teachers first, because empowering them will eventually trickle down and help students as well. Thank you so much for talking with us this morning, Tammy. And we will hear more about the mindfulness room with one of the school's counselors ahead at 6:30. Josh and Leah.
This is a great idea for students. Excited to hear more about that. Christina Laurie reporting for us. Thank you, Christina.
More local news at 6:05 this morning. A person in Madison says they're now without a job because the school they were going to work for terminated their contract after finding out they support the LGBTQ community. This person, who wanted to remain anonymous, said it all started with the Facebook picture. The photo showed pride colors on it, and this sparked the school staff at Immaculate Heart of Mary Catholic School to question the teacher's beliefs. The school asked the teacher to remove the photos, and they did, but the teacher said the school decided to terminate the contract anyway.
We can still hold certain values and be part of the Catholic faith and the Catholic community, so I'm still shocked that this is 2019 and this is still happening.
The teacher said they were in the middle of moving their stuff into their classroom when this all happened. This person is still without a job this morning, but they have no plans to file a lawsuit against the school, and they say that they just want to find a good job that supports everything about them. The school declined an on-camera interview, but said in a statement to us, all teachers in a Catholic school are expected to comport themselves publicly in a way that is consistent with church moral teachings. Multiple clear indications emerged and were brought to the school's attention that the teacher publicly held positions contrary to church teachings. After consulting with the pastor, the decision was made to terminate the contract.
Edgewood High School is filing a civil lawsuit against the city of Madison this morning, alleging religious discrimination. This all stems from the ongoing debate over whether the school can use its athletic field to host home games. The school is claiming that by not allowing them to host anything outside of practices or gym classes on the field, the city is restricting their religious mission and stopping them from holding mass or prayer services there. Neighbors have been vocal in their opposition to football games at Edgewood. Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway did respond to the lawsuit, saying in part, the city does not discriminate against any religion and that the school should work with their neighborhood to resolve any ongoing tensions.
Looking ahead, you have less than 3 weeks to go to the original Michael's Frozen Custard location. The Madison staple of almost 33 years is closing its Monroe Street location because of a U.S. immigration policy. In 2015, the shop's owner, Michael Dix, married Sergio de la Hernandez, who is an undocumented immigrant from Mexico. Dix sponsored Hernandez for a U.S. visa so he could become a U.S. citizen. Hernandez went to Mexico a year ago for his visa interview and was told he couldn't return because he had been in the country so long illegally.
I think it's just really a heartbreaking situation. I mean, Michael started this business 33 years ago using his grandma's custard recipe. It's grown. The community loves it. To think that we would lose this and all the jobs it provides.
The decision can be appealed, but a denial would mean Dix will likely close the other Michael's locations and move abroad to be with his spouse. We reached out to the U.S. Department of State to find out why Hernandez's visa was denied, but they say they cannot comment on specific cases for confidentiality reasons.
An update now. A city committee is waiting to revoke the liquor license for Visions nightclub. The nightclub has been a topic of conversation a number of times over the years, most recently for a stabbing and a shooting outside the building late last year. An attorney with the city filed a 56-page complaint saying Visions was breaking a number of ordinances inside. People who live around the nightclub say they want it gone, and they're happy the city is doing something about it.
This is crazy. There's roaches on the floor, I've heard. It's enough. It's insane. I found the other day a lady in her truck passed out for about 7.5 hours. I thought she was dead and was called the police. She finally got out of there.
Why do people want to close Visions? It's been going on for 41 years. It's not because of some of the reasons you have. The reason they want to close Visions is certain people do not like adult entertainment. So they use other excuses to try to get rid of the nightclub.
That right there is the original owner of the nightclub talking at a city meeting last night. The company's lawyer told us earlier this week the problems from the complaint aren't from the nightclub, but instead stem from the Quick Trip across the street. A subcommittee will now be responsible for deciding the nightclub's fate.
6:09 is your time right now. The DNR is taking down the bunker where Wisconsin fugitive lived for more than 3 years. A resident of that bunker, Jeremiah Button, is accused of multiple sex crimes against children. They hope the area in Portage County will look normal again soon. The roof of that bunker has been removed, and the DNR is now cleaning out the inside. The goal is to get all of the items out of the bunker by the end of today. Right now, Madison police are asking for help identifying a burglar who stole a woman's underwear. This incredible video is from inside West Gorham Street apartment building. Police say the 22-year-old woman woke up to a stranger standing in her apartment. The burglar was using a cell phone flashlight and ran away when the victim woke up. Police say there were no signs of forced entry. Anyone with information on who this person is should call police.
Unbelievable. All right, to some good news on your Thursday. An anonymous donor is helping families in the Evansville School District start fresh this year. They're giving $11,000 to help pay off any students' accounts with negative lunch balances. Superintendent Jerry Roth tells the Janesville Gazette it is the largest donation the district has ever received to help students with food service fees. The school is still working to prevent future lunch debt from reaching this same level. Little people helping people story for you.
Yeah, and I think this is something that we cover all the time, especially like during the summer months or over the holidays, that those school meals are important for those kids because sometimes they don't get that meal at home because if the parents can't afford to do so. So it's good to see that they can at least start fresh this school year, and hopefully the school can do something about it as well.
An issue across the state and the country, so hopefully this is highlighting it and helping us find some solutions.
For sure. All right, 6:11 is your time this morning, and still ahead, our coverage of all things back to school continues. We've got Dr. Mara joining us in studio to discuss the importance of healthy sleep in the new school year. That's just ahead.
And it looks like that cloud cover we've been under over the last couple days finally rolling on out. Take a look at that sunrise, folks. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Dave's got a pretty clear forecast that's coming up next on News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning. Off to a much cooler start this morning compared to where we started yesterday, with temperatures in the 40s in some spots to start us off north of Madison. In Madison right now, we're in the mid-50s, and we did see those clouds clear out. Not too many this morning and not too many last night, but just enough to get this fantastic sunset photo in Fort Atkinson. Joel, thank you so much for sending that in. We have some pretty sunrises on the way this morning as our rain chances are well to the south. That front that came through yesterday is staying to the south as high pressure builds in from the north, and that sticks around for the next couple of days, making our pleasant weather stretch last into the weekend. By the time we get to early next week, we could be talking about the humidity and shower and thunderstorm chances returning. High temperatures yesterday in the upper 70s and lower 80s. Today will be in the mid 70s with plenty of sunshine. Madison, speaking of that sunshine, we're starting to see it peek over the horizon there on the WISC-TV Skycam. The almanac for today, 75 degrees forecast high. Normal is about 80 degrees, so running about 5 degrees below normal, but with the humidity gone out of the air, really pleasant conditions. It's going to feel nice by this afternoon. Temperatures are starting off cool, as I mentioned, 49 in Black River Falls and Watoma, 51 in the Dells, and 54 in Madison, 57 in Janesville. And dew points are much more comfortable, much more easier to take compared to this time yesterday. On future track, we notice that we are pretty quiet over the next couple of days with high pressure in the driver's seat. And there will be a few clouds here and there, but more sunshine than anything else. Temperatures in the mid-70s once again as we head into Friday afternoon. We're in the upper 70s for Saturday and Sunday with partly sunny skies. Shower and thunderstorm chances and that humidity do return on Monday and Tuesday with temperatures in the low 80s. But it really does look like at the end of that 10-day forecast and really into the start of September, the temperatures will be below average across much of the Midwest, and that includes southern Wisconsin. We could see a brief thunderstorm chance late Thursday into early Friday. That's a look at your weather now with a look at your first alert traffic update. We'll send it over to Josh Tim. Josh?
Yeah, it's a quiet start on the Beltline so far this morning. Really nothing to slow you down yet in either direction at this point. Looking at other roads here in Dane County, some of the usual brake lights on Stoughton Road and Verona Road as you approach the Beltline ramps. No delays downtown around the Capitol Square and around campus. Plan on things picking up over the next hour or so. And other main routes heading into the city, they're moving at the usual speeds with no major issues. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Josh and Dave, thank you so much. So with the school year fast approaching, many parents are getting ready to renew those bedtime battles with the kids. And if you haven't started shifting your kids to that school year sleep schedule, now is probably the time to do it.
Looks like Josh needs a little bit more sleep, as do all of us. We all know the importance of sleep too well here on the morning show, hence the coffee cup this morning. Dr. Mandira Mehra is joining us this morning to talk more about that. Good morning.
Good morning. Hopefully we got somewhat of enough sleep, but you know, this is a battle. The three of us are probably not great examples, so I guess today we'll say, do as I say, not as we do.
There you go.
So, you know, this is a battle not only for kids, but also for adults. I know sometimes it's really dreaded, so if you're a parent, you're probably in one of two camps. Either you really are just enjoying summer and you don't want to get your kids back to school, or you're probably counting down the days, maybe hours, till your kids get back to school. But I know it can really be a battle to get those kids back into that school routine. So today we just want to highlight the importance of really getting back to that sleep schedule and how we can enforce it, maybe some healthy tips. We do want to remind parents, of course, that academic performance is at stake here. And this is the whole reason we send our kids to school. We want them to be optimized for their performance. And really, if you're not getting enough sleep, nutrition, if other factors are not there, you're maybe hindering them and not giving them their best chance. You know, sleep deprivation can also lead to some chronic issues. So we're talking about obesity, diabetes, memory issues, irritability, just not being able to really learn well. So we want to stress the importance of getting a good night's sleep. A lot of people say, Dr. Mehra, what does that mean? So it depends on your child's age. Between the ages of 4 and 17, that range can be about 8 to 13 hours. You might be thinking, wow, who sleeps 12, 13 hours? But honestly, in that preschool age, you're looking more towards that 10 to 12, 13-hour range. Closer to 17 and, you know, around the teenage ages, that's when you're looking at that 8 to 9 hours. I came up with an acronym. This is Dr. Mehra's best. I have BEDS, so BEDS. Number 1, B stands for set back the clock. Start about 10 to 14 days ahead of time. Set back the clock about 15 minutes. Get them to bed 15 minutes early every day. Wake them up about 15 minutes early. That way that first day just goes really smoothly. E stands for electronics, so turning off the tablets, the TVs, the cell phones, really just unplugging 1 to 2 hours at least before bedtime. We really want to make sure that that melatonin is surging and that they're ready for bed, but the electronics can actually decrease that melatonin. D stands for days, so don't wait till the night before. Start this 10 to 14 days ahead of time. Kids are so sensitive to these sleep changes. We as adults are, but they're even more sensitive, and they take some time to adjust. So start this process ahead of time. Last is S. S stands for the same. Create a routine, whatever it is. Brushing your teeth, reading a book, taking a shower. Make a nice, calm environment for them. So just sticking to that same routine over and over. So remember what Dr. Mira said, BEDS. Just stick to that routine, start days ahead of time, set back the clock, and really unplugging those electronics, and your kids will be optimized, fresh. If you're sleeping a lot, your kids are sleeping a lot, happy, healthy home.
I'm putting this right into my brain right now because I think I got about 5 hours of sleep last night. So.
This works for adults too. So just remember, if you're getting your kids to bed early, then you're probably getting to bed early as well.
All right, Dr. Mira, as always, thank you so much.
Great to be here.
Good to see you. Still ahead on News 3 Now this morning, the president is calling out automakers for signing on to an agreement with California on auto emissions. What he's saying this morning still ahead.
And we're also staying cool and staying clear in today's forecast. Dave's got a look at your out-the-door weather. That's when News 3 Now this morning continues. Look at that sunrise.
Cobra.
.24 on your Thursday morning, and if you're needing a reason to smile, just take a look at that screen. Of course, Dave's blocking it right now.
There we go.
There
Dave's
it
a
is.
reason to
Like
smile
You're like
as
Vanna
well.
White. Look at you.
I'd like to solve the puzzle, and the answer is
Oh, boy.
a really nice forecast. I know, it's not a very creative puzzle.
You win $1
but-
million.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Bad
man.
jokes today, you guys.
We're always winners when I do bad jokes. So let's walk over here and look at another view of this sunrise in Madison on the Edgewater Skycam, overlooking the Capitol there, and a really nice shot. 54 degrees. We do have some 40s, so that speaking that I just did there is actually not entirely off base. Dew points in the low 50s, so very comfortable, a lot cooler of a start compared to yesterday. 57 in Janesville, 57 in Waukesha. The 60s closer to Lake Michigan, 62 in Kenosha, 67 still in Milwaukee, and we're in the mid-50s generally across southwestern Wisconsin as well. Here's your out-the-door forecast. We're starting off in the 50s, but with that sunshine, we're going to warm up pretty quickly into the 60s and 70s this morning. Highs in the mid-70s. Lots of sunshine and comfortable outside as we get into this afternoon, and we'll be in the mid-70s with sunshine tomorrow as well. A few more clouds come in for this weekend before showers and thunderstorms and the humidity come back by the time we get to Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures will be in the low 80s during that stretch. And that is your First Alert forecast.
Dave, thank you. Governor Tony Evers is creating a task force on reducing prescription drug prices in Wisconsin. The task force will gather and analyze data on development, pricing, distribution, and purchasing on prescriptions, while analyzing other states' strategies in reducing prices and identifying opportunities to work with other states and the federal government.
To the nation's capital now, where President Trump says a new executive order will eliminate student debt for thousands of disabled veterans. He signed the measure yesterday while attending the 75th annual American Veterans Convention in Louisville, Kentucky. The president says his proposal would eliminate an average of $30,000 for each of the more than 25,000 eligible veterans.
Right now, President Trump is also attacking automakers for not backing his administration's fuel efficiency plan. Honda, Ford, Volkswagen, BMW reached an agreement with California for higher standards on fuel economy. Those are less than the Obama-era regulations, but still stricter than what the president had proposed. President Trump singled out Ford, tweeting that its founder, Henry Ford, would be very disappointed, claiming it would make the cars more expensive. 6:26 right now. We'll have more news from Capitol Hill coming up in the top 3 things you need to know this morning.
And we will check back in with our Christina Laurie to learn more about the mindfulness room and an area where students can go to cope with stress. That's next on News 3 Now this morning. Stay with us.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks, and thanks for waking up with us on this Thursday, August 22nd. It is a great day to be awake this early because it's a gorgeous sunrise out there.
Yeah, Dave's talking about sunshine in his forecast coming up in just a moment. But first, let's get to the top 3 things that you need to know this morning. First up, the Trump administration is waiting for a federal judge to approve a new federal regulation aimed at stemming the flow of illegal migrants across the southern border. It would allow those migrant families to stay together, but they would be detained indefinitely until their asylum case is decided. Under current rules, families with children should be released in 20 days or less.
The second story we're following this morning, the federal budget deficit is expected to rise more than $1 trillion over the next fiscal year. Those Congressional Budget Office projections take into account President Trump's 2017 tax cuts, along with increases in military and non-defense domestic spending. On the campaign trail, you might remember, presidential candidate Trump had vowed he would balance the budget and pay down the entire national debt.
And rounding out the top 3 this morning, we are also monitoring the field for Democratic candidates, which is thinning out. Washington Governor Jay Inslee has announced that he is ending his bid for the 2020 Democratic nomination. Inslee, who made climate change the theme of his campaign, is the 3rd Democrat to pull out of that race.
Those are the top 3 things to know on your Thursday. Dave is in this morning with a look at weather and traffic. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Leah and Josh. The biggest thing to know is that the pleasant weather that is overhead right now across southern Wisconsin is going to continue for today, tomorrow, and into the weekend. We lost a lot of our cloud cover, as we could see on Weather Track overnight, and as we head into the live look in Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam, we're looking at a fantastic sunrise this Thursday morning. Most of us are dealing with clear visibility, but some of us closer to the Mississippi River Valley do have some patchy, dense fog that you may need to navigate if you are heading west over the next couple of hours. For the rest of us, though, off to a cool and more comfortable start. 49 in the Dells, 54 in Madison, 52 in Watertown, and 51 in Lone Rock. Temperatures and winds over the next 12 hours are reaching highs in the mid-70s under mostly sunny skies this afternoon. Now let's take a look at your first alert traffic update. No major accidents or incidents to report. Some volume starting to pick up in spots, but nothing to concern ourselves with just yet. Here are your drive times. Northbound Verona to the Beltline on 151, running a little slow at 5 minutes with an average speed of around 40 miles per hour. That's your first alert traffic update.
All right, Dave, thank you so much. We continue to monitor breaking news into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning as authorities in Beaver Dam are investigating after a car crashed into Beaver Dam Middle School. Dodge County officials say it happened just before midnight. We're still waiting to hear more information from Beaver Dam police on what led to that crash. The crash comes a little less than 2 weeks from the first day of school there. The district is postponing an open house that was scheduled for the middle school tonight. We'll have more information as that story develops.
Summer break quickly coming to an end for students here in the Madison area as well. In fact, Verona schools already start tomorrow.
At one of the district's elementary schools, you'll find a new way to tackle mental health among some of the youngest students. Christina Laurie joins us live from Stoner Ridge Elementary this morning with more information. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. Mental health has always been a big concern for teachers and counselors alike here at schools when they're going through schooling themselves, but some of them find when they got to an actual school to do their jobs, it wasn't tackled nearly enough. That's something that Liz Schlitz was telling us about this morning. So you went to school to become a school counselor, and then you got here to Stoner Prairie Elementary, and it wasn't as much of a focus. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so in schools, there's a huge focus, of course, on academics, but we know that academics and all the expectations that are put on our students and our teachers can be really stressful. And so if we're not focusing on supporting our students and teachers in managing those feelings and emotions, they're not going to be available for learning.
And so last year you started laying the groundwork for this mindfulness room, and this school year this room is opening. So what are folks at home now looking around at?
Yeah, so you can see that we have a space that has yoga mats on the floor. We have soft lighting. We really work to make this space a comforting, safe space where students can really get a chance to slow down and relax and breathe. We don't always get that time in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, and so this is a space where we really want to provide that for students.
And it's important for teachers as well. What do you find in regards to them?
Absolutely. So if a teacher doesn't have their emotions regulated, they can't support their students in regulating their emotions. And so this work really needs to start with us supporting our teachers and providing opportunities for them to care for themselves so that they can care for other students.
That's such a great point. Thank you for talking to us, Liz, and bringing us inside this mindfulness room. This is perhaps one of the most peaceful starts we've had on the morning show. We could use a mindfulness room at News 3, I think, Josh and Leah.
All right, Christina Laurie live from Verona this morning. Christina, thank you.
Still ahead, we're taking a look at a call for action that shows the lengths scammers are willing to go to get to your money.
We're going to hear how 2 teachers in Janesville were fooled by the man they thought was their boss. Keep watching News 3 Now this morning.
Turn. All right, we always ask you to share your morning with us. Here is a peek at my favorite town in the whole wide world,
What's
Highland.
That?
Come on, Josh. Come on. This is my friend Brad, always sending in just the most stunning sunrise photos. The pride of Highland right there.
I will give it to you. The photos out of that, it's that area, all 4 counties that you call home are just
they
beautiful.
are my home. Please.
They are?
Proud.
Did
Proud
you grow
girl
up in
right
all
here.
4 of them?
Might as well have. They're about the same size as Dane.
All right, incredible photo, Brad. Thank you so much for sharing. If you've got a photo that you'd like to share with us, all you have to do is snap a picture and put it on our Channel 3000 social media pages using the hashtag MyNews3Morning.
All right, we are sharing a call for action tonight that shows just how far scammers are willing to go to get at your money. You might be used to hearing about all the different kinds of scams that come into your email box, right? But 2 teachers from Janesville are sounding the alarm about fraud that came in the form of a text message from their boss. Sherry Gonterman says when her principal emailed her asking her to text her about a gift card she needed, she didn't think twice. She bought that $200 gift card, then sent her a picture of the back of it through those texts. Turns out she and another teacher had fallen for a scam out of Kansas that left them out $400.
Teachers are known to be kind people, and for someone to target teachers, it's just appalling to me.
We're starting to hit it where it really hurts us, in our pocketbooks, but also with our children.
That right there is Barb, our head call for action volunteer. She's one of a half dozen hardworking folks who use their decades of experience in different fields to help protect you from these kinds of scams. We're getting her take on this scam and how you can spot it should it happen to you. That's coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 10. And by the way, if you've been a victim of a scam like this, or maybe you have another consumer question or complaint, you can always reach our call for action volunteers at that number right there on your screen. They're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 until 1. That number is 608-270-2833.
Barb and the gang always helping us out.
They are doing the Lord's work right there.
There you go. 6:41 is your time this morning, and you can see that behind us. Sunshine, clear skies. We've got more where that came from today, and those conditions are going to be sticking around for a few days. Dave is looking ahead your weekend forecast to see if we can still expect those conditions this weekend.
But first, if you have a little kiddo turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can show their picture here on News 3 Now this morning. Thanks for watching. Stay with us.
Look.
.644 right now, and look at that sky.
There is not a cloud in that sky.
That is perfection right there, folks.
Like, reason
incredible.
to love Wisconsin, yeah, certainly.
And Dave Caulfield has a more perfect forecast on the way for the next few days. Really mid-70s, sunny skies. No complaints here, Dave.
Yeah, practically perfect in every way, to borrow a phrase from Mary Poppins. And temperatures are off to a cooler start this morning, but by the afternoon, we'll be back into the mid-70s. So the front that came through yesterday now well off to the south, being pushed further to the south by that area of high pressure, which is keeping us clear for the next couple of days. Any rain chances will be well to the south across portions of Missouri and Illinois into Indiana and Ohio. But for us, we're going to stay dry over the next 48 hours at least, probably dry, definitely dry over the next 48 hours. We just don't have any disturbances in the atmosphere coming by to help create those rain chances until we get into Monday. That's when the humidity starts to return, so that will provide some of that fuel to get those thunderstorms possibly in motion on Monday and Tuesday. No thunderstorms right now. In fact, just a storm of sunshine on the WISC-TV Skycam in Madison. That is bright, almost as bright as me in the mirror in the morning. 54 in Madison right now, 52 the dew point, so very comfortable air and cool air in some spots. So we're up to 50 in the Dells. We did dip into the upper 40s earlier this morning. 46 in Camp Douglas, 49 in Watoma. The rest of us in the mid to upper 50s, except close to Lake Michigan, where we are considerably warmer in the 60s right now. Dew points are very comfortable, 40s and 50s. I'll take that with a side of fries as well. We are looking at high temperatures over the next 10 days, and we're actually staying a little bit below normal for today, tomorrow into the weekend, but very pleasant conditions. Then slightly above average on Monday and Tuesday as that humidity returns. We head back into the 80s, but it really does look like long term, because this takes us to the end of the month here. We are looking at temperatures well below normal and into Friday and Saturday. So the last couple of days of the month, well below normal. And we could be looking at those below normal temperatures sticking around for the start of September as well. So high pressure in the driver's seat right now. A couple of clouds here and there over the next couple of days, but more sunshine than anything else. Highs in the mid-70s. We're in the upper 70s this weekend as that high moves a little bit to the east, but still a few clouds, no rain chances though. As we get into Monday and Tuesday, that's a slightly different story. The humidity returns, highs in the low 80s, and those shower and thunderstorm chances come back as well. And then we're in the 70s Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday and Saturday. There's a chance of maybe some thunderstorms at night on Thursday into early Friday morning. So let's take a look at your pet walk. Gigi in Oregon, looking so cute, almost as cute as is actually a little bit more cute than this weather, because I can't say that Gigi is not the cutest thing in that photo. We're in the mid-70s in Oregon later this afternoon with mostly sunny skies.
Look at those ears perk up. Dave, did you say sun?
Yeah, I thought you were talking about my ears. Perking up.
Yours too.
Yeah, lots of sunshine. It's going to be really nice.
Thank you very much, Dave.
The morning sprint is up next, but first here's Anthony Mason with what's ahead at 7 o'clock. Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS this morning, a fiery plane crash in California. Miraculously, everyone on board survived. What authorities say happened during takeoff that could have caused the plane to go down. And New York City Police Commissioner James O'Neill joins us. It's his first interview since announcing the decision to fire the officer who put Eric Garner in a deadly chokehold 5 years ago. We'll see you at 7.
It is 6:51, time for the morning sprint as our team gives you more local news than anybody else to start your Thursday.
We start with an update to breaking news into the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Teachers at Beaver Dam Middle School will have to reschedule their open house today after a car crashed into their building overnight. It happened just before midnight. We are waiting to hear more information from police on what led to that crash. Alliant Energy has the service back on there this morning after turning it off overnight while officers investigated.
A Madison resident says they're without a job this morning for supporting the LGBTQ community. The Immaculate Heart of Mary Catholic School asked the recently employed teacher to remove photos which displayed pride colors. Even after removing the photos, the teacher's contract was terminated. In response, the school said teachers in a Catholic school are expected to comport themselves publicly in a way that is consistent with church moral teaching.
Edgewood High School is filing a civil lawsuit against the city of Madison, alleging religious discrimination. This stems from the ongoing debate over whether the school can use its athletic field to host home games. Edgewood says the city is being unequal and unlawful in the complaint. Neighbors have been vocal in their opposition against allowing the school to use its new $1 million stadium.
Michael's Frozen Custard is closing its Monroe Street location because of a U.S. immigration policy. Owner Michael Dix's husband, Sergio de la Hernandez, went to Mexico a year ago for his visa interview, but was not able to return because he had been in the country so long illegally. The decision can be appealed, but a denial would mean Dix will likely close the other Michael's locations and move abroad to be with his spouse.
Madison police are asking for help identifying this burglar who stole a woman's underwear. This is video from inside the West Gorham Street apartment building. Police say the 22-year-old woman woke up to a stranger standing in her apartment using a cell phone flashlight to go through her dresser. Police say there were no signs of forced entry.
Temperatures off to a cooler start on this Thursday. Lots of sunshine, though. Starting us off on the WISC-TV Skycam in Madison, 55 in Mineral Point, and in Janesville, 54 in Madison. Some 40s north of Madison this morning. Pretty quickly with that sunshine, highs will be in the mid-70s, mostly sunny and pleasant. And the pleasant weather sticks around for Friday and into this weekend.
Dave, thank you. A committee under the Madison Common Council has decided to wait to revoke the liquor license for Visions nightclub. The city attorney's office filed a 56-page complaint saying Visions was breaking a number of ordinances. The company's lawyer has said that the problem stemmed from the Quick Trip that is across the street. A subcommittee will now be responsible for deciding the nightclub's fate.
The Trump administration is waiting for a federal judge to approve a new regulation aimed at stemming the flow of illegal migrants across the southern border. It would allow migrant families to stay together, but they would be detained indefinitely until their asylum case is decided. Under current rules, families with children have to be released in 20 days or less.
Governor Tony Evers is creating a task force on reducing prescription drug prices in Wisconsin. That task force will gather and analyze data on development, pricing, distribution, and purchasing of prescriptions while analyzing other state strategies in reducing prices and identifying opportunities to work with other states and the federal government.
As Verona students get ready to head back to school tomorrow, one of Verona's elementary schools is getting ready to support their students' mental health in a new way. Known as the Mindfulness Room, the Verona Area School District hopes this new classroom turned yoga and relaxation studio will give kids the tools they need to feel kind and courageous every day. When they're in this new room, for 30 minutes at a time, students will learn how to express what they're feeling with words instead of actions to help regulate their emotions. It'll also help teachers relax too, which is Principal Cap's top priority. 7 Stoner Prairie teachers became certified over the summer as yoga instructors to help guide their students in this mindfulness room.
Thank you very much, Christina. The Brewers have today off after salvaging a win in their series finale against the Cardinals, thanks to some help from Mother Nature. Mike Moustakis got the Brewers off to a good start with a 3-run home run in the first. Heavy rain then came in the 8th, ending the game early and giving the Brewers a win. Final score 5-3. They play Arizona tomorrow night at Miller Park.
Quintez Cephas is back on the Wisconsin football team and getting ready for the season opener just a week away. Cephas was working out on his own for the past year, but he hasn't played at game speeds with opponents. Head coach Paul Chris said he isn't putting a timetable on what he wants Cephas to be able to do by when. It's just good to have an impact player back on the field.
The Packers go north of the border to face the Oakland Raiders in their 3rd preseason game tonight. But whether or not we see Aaron Rodgers suit up is still in the air. Rodgers says his back is feeling better, but head coach Matt LaFleur has not said whether he'll play tonight. Kickoff is set for 7 in Winnipeg.
6:56 right now. Josh Tim has a final look at your first alert traffic. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Westbound Beltline starting to get busier now, especially between Stoughton Road and West Broadway, but still nothing that'll slow you down more than a minute or two. Inbound side of John Nolan, you're starting to tap the brakes near the Rimrock, and then again at Olin Avenue intersections heading into the downtown Madison area. Roner Road picking up near the Highway PD intersection heading north and southbound. And other main routes heading into the city, they're moving at the usual speeds with no major issues. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Josh, thank you very much.
Plenty of sunshine to start us off on this Thursday morning in Madison on the Edgewater Skycam. That sunshine lasts throughout much of the day. A few clouds here and there, but generally looking at mostly sunny skies. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s by lunchtime, highs in the mid-70s on this Thursday. Your 7 to 10 day forecast, boy, oh boy, this pleasant weather just keeps going as we get into Friday and the weekend. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s. A few more clouds come by this weekend, but I mean, not too many complaints over the course of the next couple of days. If we do have that dry weekend, that would be the first time in the entire month of August that both Saturday and Sunday were rain-free, and I think that is what's going to happen, so that's exciting. Monday and Tuesday, we do get the shower and thunderstorm chances back. Humidity returns as well, with highs in the low 80s. We're in the 70s as we end the month of August.
All right, Dave, good news. Thank you very much.
And thanks for joining us this morning, folks. Enjoy that sunshine out there. Take a look at it, and we will see you back here tomorrow morning.